All right, y'all, you want to play more consistent golf? Let's lock it in. Remember, consistency is not magic. Consistency is a method. So one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the difference between hitting the driver and our irons, right? So a lot of people will come into a golf lesson and they will ask me, am I going to do the same thing with my driver as I do with my irons? Now, I would say yes and no. More no, okay? Because setup is gonna be different. Some backswing keys are gonna be different. Some downswing keys are gonna be different. I've got a number right there, that's angle of attack. For the driver, my angle of attack is going to be more positive. That ball is gonna go way right. But notice my angle of attack is a positive 1.5. When I hit my 9-iron, I'm at -6. So my driver, I hit up on it 1.5 degrees. On my 9-iron, I hit down on it 6.0 degrees. When we're talking about differences in driver versus irons, that's gonna be number one, angle of attack. Now, with that kind of dictating the difference, now we go into what are the setup adjustments, what are the backswing adjustments, and what are the downswing adjustments that are going to allow us to get those numbers to be where they're supposed to be. All right, so now we're talking differences in setup between driver and irons. One of the biggest things in terms of the difference is our ball position. So the ball position for the driver needs to be more forward in the swing. That's going to allow us to hit more up on it. Now, when we're talking about ball position, I've got an alignment stick down here on the ground. I'm going to put my lead heel up against that alignment stick, and then I'm going to let my trail foot move out to its normal distance, right? The ball position is much more forward in my stance, which, like I said, is going to allow me to hit up on it. That's going to allow me to stay back on it more so that I can hit up on it, right? So I have this setup position, right? Ball position is more forward. Then from there, I'm going to add more tilt with my spine. So I have more of a side bend here, right? With my irons, I'm going to be more straight up and down. But with my driver, I'm going to have more side bend back to the right. That's going to allow me to stay behind the golf ball and hit up on it more. Another key that I can do with the driver is to pull my trail foot back. My trail foot comes back. That allows me to get the club to swing a little bit more from the inside and allows the angle of attack to go more up. So on that first one, driver I hit, my angle of attack was plus 1.5. I had a pretty neutral stance here. So let's go proper ball position. I'm gonna take the club, put it on my chin, rest it on my chin, go down till it hits me in the zipper, and then I'm gonna kick the shaft forward until it's the inside part of my left leg, and now I'm tilted in the proper position. Lastly, I'm going to pull my right foot back, and now let's see what that does to my angle of attack. Again, that's gonna be another one that's pretty far right. All right, but my angle of attack went from 1.5 degrees to 3.8. So making sure that we make those setup adjustments, that's going to help us get our angle of attack more up for our driver. So now when we go to our irons, our ball position is going to be for a stock standard shot that I'm hitting off of a flat lie, okay? The ball position is going to be one club head inside my lead foot. So the relationship between the golf ball and my left foot is going to always stay the same. If I want to change the right foot, I can do that. I like to go shoulder width apart for my iron swings. And then you'll notice that I'm not getting here and creating this excessive tilt, right? I'm here going down to the golf ball, maybe adding a couple degrees of tilt here over to the right. But now from there, I'm ready to go. That one I don't think was way right. A little right. But again, my angle of attack is now down 4.8 because the adjustments in my setup. All right, so those are the little adjustment keys that are going to help us differentiate hitting the iron versus the driver. So number 2 is, what are the differences in the backswing? Now, when I was a kid, I was lucky. My dad was a very good player, was kind of a golf instructor, pseudo. He taught myself, my brother, and a lot of my friends how to play. And he was a really good player, but I always remember one thing he talked about was I would always, as a kid, try to swing my driver the same way as I would my irons. Now, he would always say to me, because the driver is on a tee, you're going to typically swing flatter, a little bit more around the body than you are with an iron because it's on the ground, to where you're going to swing a little bit more up your body and a little bit steeper. All right, so when we're looking at this, I'll get set up to it. All right, I'm here. My chest is up a little bit more. Right, I feel like I'm standing a little bit taller. Standing taller is going to allow me to create more rotation of the body. So when I'm standing taller, 1, I'm going to rotate a little bit more. And then 2, the club is going to work a little flatter, more around my body. So now I get into it. Right, I understand that from my setup position. All right, I'm then going to be a little bit taller. It's going to swing a little bit more around my body. That's going to help me get that angle of attack back up. Maybe I squared that one up. Nope. But again, angle of attack at 3.4 degrees. For our irons, right, theoretically we're swinging a little steeper on it because the angle of attack is down. So once I'm in my setup position, right, I get into it. I'm in a little bit more front bend because the ball is actually on the ground instead of up on a tee, right? As that club is working back, because the club is shorter, as it's working back, it's going to work back a little bit steeper. So then from there, right, my swing plane for my driver is usually about 48 degrees, all right? So swing plane is where is this club coming down relative to, say, 0 degrees down here and 90 degrees up here. So my driver is usually coming in at roughly 45 to 48 degrees, right around there. My 9-iron is coming in at 55 to 57 degrees, right? So that's naturally swinging down steeper. So set up here, yes. Club is shorter. Club's going to work back up and down a little bit steeper, even though I am shallowing it out, right? It's working back up and down a little steeper. And we'll see again an angle of attack at minus 5.4. All right, so now let's talk about the differences in the downswing. So in the downswing, for the driver, right, I'm getting set up to it with ball position more forward. I've got my tilt. And now on the driver, I want to make sure that the buttons or the zipper on my vest are staying behind the golf ball. Now you'll notice I get here to this impact position, and I've created essentially a reverse K from left leg, right, left foot up to left shoulder, and then from right arm down the right leg. Right, so that's going to look like a reverse uppercase K. When I'm hitting my irons, I'm not going to be that far back on it, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. All right, but the main thing is that as I get up to the top of the backswing, I do have a quick little shift forward, but then from there, I'm staying back on it. My left shoulder is getting higher faster, my left hip is getting higher faster, and my head is staying back. That combination is going to allow me to hit more up on it. So I'm here, good setup. Let's see if I can square one up here. Right, so I get up to the top, try to feel like I'm staying back on it. Nope, still right. Yep. But again, angle of attack is up 4 degrees. Now, when we're talking about our irons, because again, we're hitting down on it, all right, I want you to think about how your body is moving in that downswing. So the zippers on my shirt again, or the zippers on my vest, buttons on my shirt. I get set up to it, and then what I'm trying to do, as I load up to the top, instead of feeling like I'm staying back in that reverse K position, I'm trying to feel like the zipper or the buttons are matched up more over the golf ball, right? Over the golf ball, maybe slightly in front of the golf ball. Now what that's going to do is get my angle of attack more down, my low point more forward, so that I can hit it more consistently. So we get in here, right? Nice little step. Okay, little slow motion one. You can see I got pretty far forward. Angle of attack down 5.2. Now let's see if we can do another one. That one was a rather poor effort, I would say. So let's do another one. Get it up to the top. And I try to feel like I'm creating a shift over into my lead side. That's getting my chest and my sternum more forward, right? And now I'm getting into this impact position here versus this one back here. So now, again, that one's better. Again, angle of attack. Whoa, really down 8. So I got really far forward on that one. All right, but so the setup, backswing, and downswing are all a little bit different based on if we're hitting an iron versus a driver. And that's okay. We just want to understand what those differences are to allow us to be more consistent. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. In the comments below, if you don't mind, tell me what you're working on. This way I can see what you guys are looking for, and I can start to gear the content more towards what's going to help you versus what I think you guys want to hear about. So I appreciate your time, and as I say to my daughter every time before she goes to school, peace out. See you next time.